Tonight, a special edition of Top Story live in Maui, reporting over the skies of Lahaina, ground zero in this wildfire devastation in Hawaii. We're with a fleet of helicopters choppering in food, supplies, anything people need right now. What we found when we landed.
Catastrophic scenes across the island tonight. Home after home burnt to the ground. Fears tonight that some of the hundreds still missing could be trapped inside those charred buildings. More than 50 people now confirmed dead in likely the worst natural disaster in Hawaii's history. Mounting questions tonight over why the emergency alert system was seemingly never activated. Tonight, the story of one resident desperate for news of her grandmother who was inside an assisted living facility with no one there to help. She and so many others in agony as they search for answers. We've got full team coverage of reporters across the disaster zone tonight. Our other breaking story tonight, Attorney General Merrick Garland appointing a special counsel to investigate Hunter Biden's alleged tax crimes. The man who is now tasked with overseeing the case after Biden's plea deal fell apart. A warning for former President Trump tonight with the judge overseeing his election interference case ruled about what he can discuss on the campaign trail and why she's saying she might expedite this trial. Also breaking tonight, Sam Bankman-Fried heading to prison after his bail was revoked. Why a judge is accusing the so-called crypto king of tampering with witnesses. Plus, Gilgo Beach horrors. New photos showing the inside of the suspected Long Island serial killer's home in shambles. His wife calling the house unlivable as her lawyers reveal she's been battling cancer and will soon run out of money to afford treatment. And signal of hope amid the devastation in Hawaii. The radio DJs working around the clock to deliver critical messages and get help to those who need it. And what you can do at home to pitch in for the people of Hawaii tonight. Top Story starts right now. And good evening. We thank you for joining us on this special edition of Top Story. We are on the ground in Maui, an island devastated by the second deadliest wildfire in American history and likely the worst natural disaster to ever hit Hawaii. As the smoke begins to clear, there is a sense of dread and despair thick in the air, with fears tonight an already unthinkable death toll could climb even higher. And anger is mounting as residents question why more was not done to warn them of what exactly was happening and why the emergency alert system was not activated as families made their way back to the charred wreckage for the first time. We do also want to mention there are multiple wildfires burning right now in Maui. We're in the Kula neighborhood, and you can see just behind us the power of these wildfires, scorching everything in their range. You can see cars, you can make out what used to be homes, but most of it is all gone. And this is the story across Maui tonight. We're also getting new video from those critical first few hours that the fire broke out. And these images are hard to believe, catching so many people off guard, wind gusts approaching 70 miles an hour. It was truly a frightening scene, fueling those flames as it engulfed an entire harbor in Lahaina. These are a lot of the images that we're seeing, all of it unfolding at a horrifying speed. In some instances, fires reaching homes, and people were unable to get out. They were unable to hear those evacuation orders when some did receive them over their text phones or on television. Residents telling us tonight there were no sirens. They didn't hear them to warn them to get out just in time. There are major questions that remain about how and why that system failed so spectacularly. As we've been reporting, some forced to jump into the ocean to escape, and you can see the embers flying all around them when they tried to do that. Burnt out cars lining what should have been an escape route, but the fires were all moving so quickly and those vehicles completely charred. Look at that, frozen in time, a terrifying moment there. First responders combing through the debris, bracing for what they may find. The inevitable horrors that lie within the nearly 60 bodies recovered already were people killed and that we're seeing outside. Officials have said they're not sure what they're going to find once they start looking inside those buildings, and those numbers are expected to soar as teams move into those torched out homes. We were in the skies above that area today, and what we saw really shook us. It was a chopper that turned into a critical emergency mission, handing off supplies. The scope of the devastation was hard to put into words. But tonight, it is clear from our position on the ground that the road to recovery is going to be long and incredibly difficult. The landscape of this beautiful island and the lives of the people who call it home are forever changed. Tonight, the return to Lahaina. Residents allowed back in, and we saw from the skies above the shock that awaits them.
Even at 400 feet in the air, you can still smell the smoke days later, and you look down and you can't make out what you're seeing. It looks to be a town that once existed, but nearly every building, every house, every car scorched completely off the map.
Block by block, we see a grid of misery. Once the capital of the Hawaiian Kingdom, a tourist mecca, and now a wasteland of ash and rubble.
Down there's the grim search for bodies happening right now, those that could not escape. And the residents of Lahaina believe that the death toll is going to be much higher. And officials have warned that they expect to find even more bodies once they start searching building to building, house to house.
We rode in with Maverick helicopters, usually giving tours, today saving lives.
It's just been heartbreaking. It's almost hard to even put into words what we've seen out here.
Their choppers carrying thousands of pounds of aid being unloaded by regular Hawaiians looking to help.
People are lying dead in the streets out here. Hundreds of people are dead. I don't know what's really on the news, what they're saying.
It's been terrible to see those images.
It's devastating. It's horrible. And they had no warning. It happened so fast. The winds were so strong.
And help coming by air and by boat for people who have lost everything.
We need formula, diapers, ice, water, and just food. I'm a little worried because I have a 4-month-old and a 2-year-old.
This as desperation on the island is growing. New video just in showing the power of the deadly fires, forcing so many to flee into the water, clinging to rocks amid crashing waves and thick smoke. For days, the catastrophic wildfires have burned in Maui, carving a deadly path, likely becoming the largest natural disaster in Hawaii's history.
Everybody lost everything. We don't know how to feel. I don't know how you guys supposed to feel.
The cause of the fire is still under investigation, and many residents say the flames erupted with almost no warning.
My heart is just broken for everyone. Everyone who's lost someone, everyone who doesn't know where someone is.
Maui resident Danielle Yakut tells me she can't get in touch with her grandmother.
We don't know where she is.
Who lived in an assisted living facility. What would you want to tell her?
I'd want to tell her that we're looking for her. Hey, Grandma, we're looking for you. If you can reach a phone, call us, let us know where you're at, or if anybody can see her, you know, is with her, knows who she is, and just contact us. We just want to find some contact to get her.
National Guard recovery teams are on the ground in Lahaina, working their way through neighborhoods where homes once stood.
The full extent of the destruction of Lahaina, it will shock you. It does appear like a bomb and fire went off.
Wind speed in Maui County approached 70 miles per hour, according to the National Weather Service, likely fanning flames and fueling the out-of-control blaze.
I think this was an impossible situation. I can't comment on whether or not the sirens sounded or not, but I know that the fires came up so quickly and they spread so fast.
Let's go!
Already, this is among the most deadly wildfire disasters in the U.S., as the staggering scope of devastation continues to grow. Many people here now mourning the dead while also searching for the missing and awaiting news of what's left in the wake of this wildfire. NBC national correspondent Miguel Almaguer is outside Lahaina, where there's a line of cars waiting to get into those evacuated areas. Miguel, we know so many people here in Maui want to get back, and we can see that gridlock there just behind you.
Yeah, Tom, when we first arrived here in Maui, we found people lying here or sitting parked in their cars on the side of the road. Many had been sleeping here for days. Now, for the first time, they're being allowed to go back into the properties, into the areas of where they live. But what they find is likely going to be grim.
As the smoke and flames finally begin to clear, tonight here in Lahaina, a new crisis unfolds. In this desolate, tortured landscape, the search for the missing and for the dead.
That's our house right there.
Kimo Kirkman has finally made it home, but all he has found is heartbreak.
Oh my God, here's Bruno's bowl. It's the most heartbreaking thing I've ever been through.
We first met the Kirkmans Thursday, who, like so many families, waited for days on the side of the road or inside shelters for this chance to go home.
Why do you get emotional talking about your community?
Because I love my community. They've raised my girls with me.
The Kirkmans have closure, but far too many are haunted by the silence. Tonight, there is no official number for the missing. While some fear it may be as high as 1,000, a stream of pleas cry out on social media. Mothers, fathers, children, desperate to find loved ones.
What goes through my mind is do I just go over there and find my dad because no one else is?
From California, Kimberly Bowen is waiting for any word about her father. 79-year-old Shadow hasn't been seen since the flames overtook his neighborhood.
More days that go by, those numbers are going to go up. And if he did get evacuated, where did he get evacuated to? There's no information regarding that.
Jason Gatea says his mother is also unaccounted for.
My plan is to get on a plane, fly out there and find out what the heck is going on.
Yvonne Weldon hasn't responded to the urgent calls from loved ones. A Maui resident of 20 years, she lived in the heart of Lahaina.
What worries you, is it internet access or is it something else?
Many here believe the death toll is far greater than the number confirmed. Residents continue to tell us there are bodies in homes, cars, and in the water.
Survivors tell us when the fire first hit Lahaina, there wasn't warning or much time to evacuate. Imagine being home, hearing screams and looking outside and seeing a wall of flames. That's what neighbors say happened right here.
We're all a family. We don't even lock our doors in our neighborhood. There's nothing here for us anymore. It was just devastating.
Tonight, so much destruction and so much uncertainty in this paradise now turned to ash.
And Miguel Almaguer joins us again live now from just outside of Lahaina. And Miguel, it's interesting. I'm looking at that live shot where you are, and usually in natural disasters, you see the traffic jams on the way to get out. But these are people after the natural disaster has passed that want to get in because this is still unfolding. You were one of the first correspondents on the ground here for NBC News. Tell us how the situation has changed, if it's changed at all.
Well, Tom, you know, so many of the people here who you see in these lines of cars trying to get in, who are waiting for hours, they are desperate, they are tired, and they just want information. Many of them are going to return to properties that are totally gone. Some of the folks in these cars are looking for loved ones who have been missing for days, folks who they haven't heard from since this wildfire broke out. So the emotions here are still very raw. Folks here have been on edge for several days, and now they know they're going to start getting answers. But, of course, so many are scared of what they could possibly learn, Tom.
Hey, Miguel, before you go, have you had a chance to sort of tell who's going back in? Does it appear to be only residents, or is it emergency vehicles? Is it supplies as well?
Yeah, Tom, right now they are letting in residents who have a valid ID, who can show proof that they lived in this area in the burn zone. They don't want to overflood it. Clearly, everyone who lives there likely wants to get back home. They're also allowing all emergency responders. We know search and rescue teams are coming in from all parts of the mainland. Those folks will, of course, have first priority to get in here. But do we expect these backups, these traffic backups for local residents to last for hours? It's a slow process. They're checking IDs. They're making sure everybody has the right to be in there. It's going to take some time, Tom.
All right, Miguel Almaguer for us. Miguel, we appreciate all your reporting. I want to bring in a special guest now. Mara Gomes joins us now. She's been delivering mail to this neighborhood where we have for the last 3 years. Mara, thanks so much. I know this is a difficult time. We brought you over here to join us on the broadcast because you're actually still delivering mail, and this is happening just behind you.
Yeah, we've been delivering even on Tuesday when it first happened. Yeah.
Is that your phone? Is that an emergency alert? It sounds like there's...
Yes.
So they've been texting out alerts. Is it about the wildfires?
It's about the Lahaina opening the road and letting people, some residents through to get back to their family.
So, Mara, you've been in this neighborhood for 3 years now, working in this neighborhood. What was right here? Because it's hard for us to tell.
Right here we had a family of... There was a big house, and then on the side, the guy used to live behind the garage. So there was multiple families in this house, and the one up above was one of my family members' house, her boyfriend's family's house.
And it's gone.
Yeah, it's gone.
What's it like to be here looking at this?
It's sad. I mean, I don't know where to deliver.
You don't know what to do with the mail.
Yeah, so we're holding it at the post office, and hopefully they know to come and grab the mail from the post office. But it's really sad just being out here like it's normal. Trying to keep things normal.
That's got to be hard.
Yeah.
And what's it been like? What have the residents told you as you've gone to their house to deliver mail?
They've been asking me, "Are you okay?" "Yeah, I'm okay."
And are the people staying here, or are they evacuated?
Some evacuated, and some are still here. But I'm trying not to leave any mail out because I'm scared that somebody's just going to grab their mail, and the people come around that don't live here just to grab their mail. And that's what I don't want for this community. Like, I want it to
Some people might hear that, Mara, and they may say, Mara, that sounds crazy during this time, but it's important for you to keep something that is routine here, right? Because this is so not the norm.
Yeah. So we just keep going, delivering mail, all the other routes too, and we're just holding everything. I mean, we just got to keep going. Yeah. Just trying to make everybody feel like life can still go on.
So there are still helicopters dropping water here. This seems to be an active scene where they're trying to fight wildfires, and yet you're still out here. Are you safe to do that?
Yeah, we're safe. I mean, we can wear a mask, but it almost feels like it's just immune already since Tuesday. The smoke is just staying here, and hopefully a big wind just comes and blows everything away. You kind of just want to wake up and everything be gone.
What's been the toughest part so far?
The toughest part is seeing all the families not here that I used to wave at, or the two little kids up the street run to me and grab their mail, their brother and sister, and not seeing life over here. Yeah, it's really sad.
Mara, we really commend you for what you're doing. I know that is not easy, and I'm sure it means a lot to these people, and that you care so much about making sure they get their packages and their mail, even in this incredibly devastating time. Mara Gomez, for us from the U.S. Postal Service, we thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah. We do want to move on now. With so many businesses, homes, and livelihoods destroyed here, the vibrant town of Lahaina is nearly unrecognizable. NBC's Dana Griffin has much more for us.
Beneath the ash and debris in the town of Lahaina on Maui's west coast, a history rich with culture now lays buried.
Lahaina is often characterized as a tourist destination, but its historical and cultural significance runs deep.
Kaniela Ing's family has lived on Maui for 7 generations.
What's the cultural significance of Lahaina?
It's like walking through the annals of the colonial and capitalist history of Hawaii, starting from royalty to whaling to sandalwood.
Lahaina, which means cruel sun, was the original capital of the Hawaiian kingdom, made so by King Kamehameha, who united Hawaii's islands in 1802. The former site of Kamehameha's palace in the area engulfed by flames, along with this 200-year-old church, the final resting place for several Hawaiian kings and queens.
We lost our business, but our family's here.
Gone too, Tiffany Wynn's Lahaina gift shop.
The nice thing about Lahaina is such a sense of family. Everybody watches out for each other. And when tragedies happen, everybody bands together.
As much as has been destroyed, still standing is Lahaina's 150-year-old banyan tree. It is badly burned, but officials now hoping the roots are healthy and that the tree, like Lahaina, can come back.
If we can have the tree as like a little gem in that to keep us going, that'd be great.
Deeply rooted here, the aloha spirit, extending warmth to others, needed in Lahaina more than ever. Dana Griffin, NBC News Maui.
And that aloha spirit incredibly strong here in Maui and on full display at evacuation centers across this island. The community banding together to provide food and shelter for those who have been displaced. Steve Patterson joins us tonight from one of those centers at Maui High School. Steve, talk to us about where you are exactly and what you've been seeing throughout the day.
Yeah, Maui High School, one of 6 evacuation centers on the island of Maui, and we have seen much, as you've been reporting, Tom, especially that woman you spoke to, stories of residents who have lost everything in that town, stories of residents who have left everything, left pets, left crucial medications behind, and not only residents, but also tourists, people that were in Lahaina at the time the fire broke out, threw everything into their car, including their families, and just drove, wound up sleeping in their car for days days, on nights, and finally found their way to shelters like this, but also people donating almost every minute of every hour. There is another box that goes by with food, with water, with fuel, with supplies that are vital for people here to live. I want to go back, though, to those residents. There was a woman who lived on Maui for 50 years and watched her home burn. She came here with nothing but her husband and the shirt on her back. Listen to what she told me.
What is it like for you to see this historic, the place you grew up for 50 years, gone?
Oh, that's so sad. That's why we're planning, all of us, our neighbor, we've seen our neighbor yesterday already, and we all hugging, crying. And then you keep contact each other to make relieve the stress, you know.
That, Cynthia, can be hard to hear. She says that her neighbors and her were hugging and crying and sobbing, but that her daughter also lives in Lahaina. Her home stands, so she will live with her daughter after this. Heartbreaking stories here at this shelter. Tom?
Steve, before you go, you've been reporting on the chaos also at the airports over the past few days. So many people desperate to evacuate. How has the flight situation been so far today?
Yeah, the airport has been a place of chaos. I'll be frank with you, Tom. 15,000 travelers fled last night. That's on top of the 11,000 before that. We expect the same sort of numbers tonight. Thankfully, the airlines are playing ball. They're doing all they can to get people out. They're putting messages out that says that getting people out is their primary mission, including lowering fares, offering more flights, offering more seats on flights. So they're doing their best to get people out, and so far, it's been working. Tom?
And okay, Steve Patterson for us tonight. Steve, we appreciate all your reporting. As we have mentioned, while mostly contained, the fires are still burning. We see that just behind us. I want to bring in tonight NBC meteorologist Michelle Grossman. Michelle, are the weather conditions helping or hurting the firefight? Because throughout the day, we have felt those winds hit us.
Yeah, hi there, Tom. Yeah, the breezy at times. Certainly, we're seeing winds gusting over 20, 25 miles per hour times, but much better than yesterday, much better than the day before, and certainly much better than the 82 mile per hour we saw at the peak of all of this. So right now, we're seeing winds anywhere from 8 to 15 miles per hour, gusting over 20 miles at times. This is 6 o'clock later on tonight. This is local time, so we're looking at an 8 mile per hour wind, anywhere up to 8 to 15. And then by tomorrow at 6 p.m., again, 5 to 15 miles per hour. Could see some gusts over 20 miles per hour, but better. We've returned to a more typical summer-like trade wind pattern over the islands, and that's good news. It's going to help the firefighting efforts. But we remain in a drought. It is severe in some spots, and we have a lot of dry fuel on the land. We have a lot of dry grass. We have a lot of dry trees. And look what happens as we go throughout time here, because we are not expecting any rain. 90 degrees as we end up the day today. Later on today, lots of sunshine, sunny, hot and dry. Winds east 5 to 15 miles per hour. Again, could gust a little higher than that. And then as we go throughout the next 4 days, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, look at all the sunshine. The temperature is so hot, and we're going to keep the rain out of the forecast. We could see a light shower or two, but nothing to help the efforts. Tom?
Okay, we appreciate all that. Thank you. We want to turn now to our other big story tonight. Attorney General Merrick Garland announcing a special counsel has been appointed to investigate Hunter Biden. The special counsel is saying the tax case against the president's son is likely to go to trial. NBC's Peter Alexander has more.
Less than a month after Hunter Biden walked into court expecting the criminal investigations of him would end, tonight his legal troubles are only growing.
I'm here today to announce the appointment of David Weiss as a special counsel.
Attorney General Merrick Garland announcing Trump appointed Delaware U.S. Attorney David Weiss, who's been investigating Hunter Biden for alleged tax and gun crimes, had requested special counsel status.
The appointment of Mr. Weiss reinforces for the American people the department's commitment to both independence and accountability in particularly sensitive matters.
Shortly after, in court papers, Weiss said negotiations with Hunter Biden's attorneys for a plea deal were at an impasse, and there would likely be a trial. Hunter Biden's lawyer tonight saying he expects a fair resolution to the case. But Republicans are blasting Garland's selection of Weiss, who oversaw what the GOP calls a sweetheart plea deal that would have allowed the president's son to avoid prison time. That deal fell apart under scrutiny from a federal judge.
Mr. Weiss has been compromised. Who in their right mind believes that changing the title of what you call Mr. Weiss solves all the problems associated with Mr. Weiss? Nobody.
Congressional Republicans accuse Garland of appointing Weiss to try to stonewall their investigation into whether President Biden was involved in what Republicans say were Biden family members' efforts to enrich themselves off his political career.
This is an attempt to whitewash the Biden family corruption.
The White House has slammed the Republican allegations as insane conspiracy theories. Tonight, the president ignored reporters' questions, but has repeatedly defended his son.
I'm very proud of my son.
All of this, a new political headache for the White House with a possible criminal trial for the president's son in the heat of his father's re-election campaign. Tom?
Peter, we thank you for that. The news of Hunter Biden's legal troubles come as lawyers for former President Trump were back in court today. The judge laying out what Trump is allowed to say about the investigation into the 2020 election interference probe. NBC's Garrett Haake joins us now with more. Garrett, what can you tell us?
Tom, the day ends with Judge Tutkin putting in place a protective order that will limit some of the evidence that Donald Trump can talk about publicly in this case against him. But the vast majority of the evidence in this case will be things he can talk about. He can talk about basically anything that doesn't include personal information or that the government marks as sensitive. So that could be things like grand jury transcripts or information that might even still be classified. And he can review it on his own, although his lawyer has to check and make sure that he doesn't take any notes or any photographs of this evidence. The bigger takeaway from this hearing today were the repeated warnings from Judge Chutkan that A, she's not going to look at the political calendar or take political considerations into her thought process at all as she approaches this case. She's going to treat Donald Trump like any regular defendant. She says he's still going to have his First Amendment rights, but the fact that he's running for president is not going to enter into her decisions. And B, she's come up with an idea, and we'll see how effective it is, to restrain the kind of speech that he does negatively that might affect witnesses or might affect jurors. She spoke in this hearing about the idea that if she thinks Donald Trump is somehow trying to taint the jury pool, create a carnival-like atmosphere, or attack specific witnesses, that will be a factor in the trial date, she says, suggesting that basically anything he does to make it harder for her to conduct a fair and appropriate trial, she'll just speed up the start process. And we know that the Trump team's key ask here over the next week is going to be to delay. They want to put off the start of this trial as long as possible. Judge Chutkan has basically given them a path to getting something close to what they want, a later trial date than what the government's asked for, which would start in January, but only if their client behaves. And Tom, as we know from every other kind of legal case that Donald Trump has faced, not talking publicly about prosecutors or judges or witnesses is an enormous challenge for him, and in the heat of a political campaign on a case he says is all about politics will remain an enormous challenge for him. That's what I'm watching going forward into August. Tom.
Garrett Haake for us tonight. Garrett, thank you. Still ahead on this special edition of Top Story. The other major headlines we're following: the new plea tonight from the wife of the suspected Gilgo Beach serial killer, why she says her home is unlivable, and why she will soon run out of money to pay for cancer treatments, and an update on that deadly stabbing of a beloved dancer in New York City, the 2 hate crime charges that suspect is now facing, and much more tonight from right here in Maui. We take another live look over the skies of Maui and some of the destruction that is happening just behind us right here. The multiple wildfires burning on this Hawaiian island. Stay with us for the special edition of Top Story. We are back live tonight from Maui. We are going to have much more on the ongoing wildfire disasters happening here in Hawaii in a moment. But we also tonight have an update in the murder case of dancer and choreographer O'Shea Sibley. His alleged killer, a 17-year-old from New York, pleading not guilty today in court. He's being charged with murder as a hate crime. The DA saying he used racial and homophobic slurs before the killing. NBC's Noah Pransky has the latest.
A 17-year-old from Brooklyn today pleading not guilty to the murder of 28-year-old dancer and choreographer O'Shea Sibley. Surveillance video showing the heated argument that turned deadly. This teenager in the red shorts, the suspect, Dmitry Popov.
He's sorrowful, he's sad, he's afraid, as he should be at 17 years old.
The high school student's charges include second-degree murder as a hate crime after allegedly stabbing and killing Sibley because he is black and gay. The DA says the suspect hurled racist and homophobic slurs at Sibley and his friends as one of them danced.
O'Shea and his friends were allegedly targeted because they were dancing, they were being themselves, dancing joyfully to Beyonce music at a Brooklyn gas station.
Popov's attorney telling our affiliate WNBC that self-defense will likely be their strategy, but not acknowledging whether his client was carrying a knife on that night, and adding the 17-year-old suspect is not racist.
He has many black friends, and he even has a black sister-in-law.
New York City's mayor, Eric Adams, speaking out on the killing.
Parents lost a child to something clearly that was a hate crime.
Sibley's family left to mourn their unimaginable loss. His friends remembering O'Shea as a light.
He encouraged us to stand out and be us. He danced with us. There was a beauty within it all. The power of brotherhood.
And at the gas station where Sibley lost his life, his community letting their voices be heard. In their grief, the sounds of resilience. As court wrapped up today, the judge told Popov to stay out of trouble at the juvenile detention facility. He's currently in protective custody for his own safety, and he's due back in court on October 10th. Tom?
Next tonight, we are getting chilling new images from inside the home of the suspected Gilgo Beach serial killer. His family now threatening to sue police for the condition they left the home in after the search. NBC's Stephanie Gosk has more.
Attorneys for Rex Heuermann's family say investigators left the alleged serial killer's home unlivable.
They can't be inside. The house is in shambles. It's ransacked. The conditions inside are deplorable.
The family is considering a lawsuit. Today, lawyers released new photos of the home, including evidence boxes piled high and missing drain pipes in the bathroom. The police department said it does not comment on pending litigation. A lawyer for Heuermann's wife also made a public appeal for money to help the family. Asa Ellerup, who filed for divorce, has cancer, he says, and the insurance is running out.
Rex Heuermann pleaded not guilty. Does his family believe him?
The only thing his family knows about these charges is what's been reported in the media.
But do they think he did it?
We haven't had that conversation. Frankly, it doesn't matter. I need to get Asa back to being mentally healthy.
Rex Heuermann is accused of killing 3 women over a decade ago and is linked to the disappearance of a 4th, according to the Long Island prosecutor. He pleaded not guilty. This week, the trial judge ordered the 59-year-old to give prosecutors a DNA cheek swab. In his decision, writing, contrary to the defendant's contentions, there is probable cause to believe that the defendant committed the crimes charged. While the court case moves forward, a multi-agency task force keeps investigating. At least 11 bodies were discovered on or near Gilgo Beach years ago. One alleged serial killer is in jail, while many wonder if there is still another. Stephanie Gosk, NBC News, Central Islip, New York.
Coming up next, the crypto king heading back to prison. Why a California judge just revoked Sam Bankman-Fried's bail. We'll explain. Plus, our coverage from right here in Maui continues. Our live coverage on this special edition of Top Story as you see firefighters still battling wildfires, attacking those fires from the air with water drops right there. We'll be right back. We're back now live from Maui, where the destruction from those catastrophic wildfires is all around us. We have just learned that the death toll has rose to at least 67. And tonight, the survivors starting to regain access to areas that were evacuated, but many are returning to nothing. Some not sure what they're going to go home to, including Lori Pozensky and Carl Cudworth, who join me now live. They escaped the fires in Lahaina earlier this week. Lori, describe to us what exactly you saw and what you guys had to live through.
Oh, well, early in the morning, about 8 o'clock, there was a small fire up Lahaina Luna Road. We went down looking for food. When we come back, the fire was still smoldering, but there was nobody there to put it out anymore. And within, a matter of hours, it was like right there. We had to hurry up. We got an alert on our cell phones before the cell phones went out, and it said it was 0.6 miles away. So we hurried up and went out. At one point, we had flames on both sides of us. When we were on the bypass, we could hear all the transformers blowing. We could hear the propane tanks blowing, and we could hear the structures falling.
Did you guys hear at any point sirens? They're saying they never alerted, they never activated that system. You never heard sirens. No. You did get an alert on your phone.
Right before they went out.
But by that time, it was too late?
Almost too late. Yeah, we went down to the bypass and we were told to go north, and we couldn't go north. We went as far as we could. We were in line for almost 20 minutes. And
could you feel the fire? Could you feel the heat?
We could feel the heat. Yeah, and the smoke was horrible. The smoke was just horrible, and so we could see the fire going. Just spreading and going, and then we figured out it was too late. It's going across the highway, and we had to turn around. So we turned around, back through the fire, a little bit of the fire. It wasn't real bad, but there was some fire on both sides of the highway at that point. And then we went down the road. We went and.
We parked on the side of the road like so many hundreds of cars until we could see it getting closer, and we'd go further down the road.
And everybody was doing that. We actually ran into some people who we knew after the third time we...
Did you have to abandon your car, or could you drive out?
We could drive out.
We drove out.
Have you seen the images of Lahaina? Yeah,
a little bit. Yeah,
only what we can see through.
From aerial
could you tell if where you lived is still standing, or is it gone?
We couldn't tell, but the principal of the school, the kids that we live, the school's right behind our house, said that some of the community did survive.
Okay, so there's some hope.
I think we might have a better accurate number on your number of dead too. Somebody said that
it was over 100.
Over 100.
Over 100.
They're saying more than 60 right now, 67. But I know people who lived there who saw what was happening think it's a lot higher. What do you need right now? I see that you have a sticker. Are you staying? Are you helping out, or are you volunteering?
They had to take my dad to the hospital yesterday.
It was totally unrelated. It was
it was nothing related.
What do you think the people of Maui need right now? If you're speaking to the viewers across the country.
Right now, jobs is one thing for everybody who lost them.
We need to have a way to pay our bills the next month.
Everybody on the Lahaina side, nobody has anything.
There's no jobs to be had.
They're going to need everything they can get. If we do have a house, we're going to try to clean the soot out and give as many people a place to sleep as we can.
So they need to expedite regrowth there as quickly as possible. They can't sit on their laurels like they always do.
They take time.
Do you think officials need to be blamed for some of the
warnings? Yes.
Yeah, the warnings. But I was up there, and I have to tell you, I mean, there wasn't a lot of space where that fire started to come down, and then when it hits your neighborhoods, I mean, there's not a lot of time once that fire took off.
No, the winds were so bad. I mean, it was like rocking our car.
This has happened actually
every 4 years.
Every 4 years. It seems like somebody's setting fires every time there's a hurricane. I don't know who it is, but they better stop it. You know, they should have been.
They found them a few times.
They found them one year, and they didn't charge them with all the attempted murders that I think they should have been charged.
But yeah, there was no emergency system, and most people, their phones were gone before they could get it.
We're so sorry you guys are suffering like this, and we hope that this area and all of Maui gets the help it needs. We thank you for joining us tonight.
I'm heartfelt for everybody here.
It's a sick human being who starts a fire in a hurricane. That's all I got to say about that.
Everybody, they just need jobs, food, and clothes. Everybody everybody all over the island.
Okay. Thank you so much for joining us. I appreciate it. We're sorry that this is happening to you. Coming up, we are going to continue our coverage on these devastating wildfires here in Maui, including how radio DJs are stepping in to help, plus a rising Colombian soccer star coming back from cancer and now in the World Cup, her incredible journey to that tournament next. We are back now with Top Stories newsfeed. FTX founder Sam Bankman-Fried has been sent to jail after a judge revoked his bail over alleged witness tampering. He will remain in custody until his criminal trial set to begin on October 2nd. The former crypto CEO is accused of defrauding investors and customers. Prosecutors have accused him of using the press to harass key witnesses. A manhunt in New York City is underway after an inmate escaped from a fifth-floor window at a Manhattan hospital. Police say the suspect tied bedsheets into a rope and rappelled down a building. to street level. They believe he then hailed a cab. The suspect was awaiting trial on drug charges. An NTSB report saying that a slight miscommunication between United airline pilots led to a scary close call in December. Shortly after taking off from here in Hawaii, the plane dove within 750 feet of the ocean's surface. An investigation finding the co-pilot heard the number 15 instead of 5 when resetting wing flaps, causing the drop. A warning system was triggered. Luckily, no one was hurt, and both pilots received additional training. We also have an update tonight. California state regulators voted to allow 24/7 self-driving taxi services in San Francisco. The controversial move comes after protests from taxi drivers and other San Fran residents who say they have cars continually cause traffic jams, accidents, and disrupt emergencies. City leaders saying they may file for a new hearing. We now want to head overseas to the deepening crisis in Niger. The life of the country's elected president is in danger after the military seized power in a coup. Our Courtney Cubey and team were on the ground as it began and have the reporting tonight how they escaped.
Tonight, thousands taking to the streets in Niger supporting a military coup, as the U.S. raises alarms about the safety of the country's detained president, Mohamed Bazoum, last seen publicly in this image over a week ago.
We have deep concern for him, for his family, for his security and well-being.
Leaders of neighboring countries building a military force that could deploy to restore Bazoum to power. But now NBC News has learned that coup leaders told U.S. officials they will kill the democratically elected president if any outside military forces interfere. We traveled to Niger 3 weeks ago to report on the strength of the Nigerian people struggling with immense poverty and a growing terror threat. Then the crisis began. Coup leaders closing the airspace and borders. For days, coup supporters burning cars, blocking traffic, and attacking the French embassy. The U.S. military negotiating with coup leaders for permission to restart flights.
We just boarded the plane. It's late at night.
6 days later, Nigerian authorities agreed, allowing the U.S. to fly in a C-17 cargo plane. For security, flying under the cover of darkness.
So this is the first aircraft to fly into Niger since the coup last Wednesday. It came in with some medical supplies for the U.S. troops and U.S. personnel who are here in the capital region. And we've just been lucky enough that they had a couple of seats available.
We landed at a U.S. airbase in Germany the next morning.
Oh, how are you? Good to see you.
But millions of Nigerians continue to be caught in this crisis. And tonight, the U.S. still has not designated this a coup, nor has the U.S. decided to withdraw any of the military forces still stationed in Niger. Tom?
Okay, Courtney Cubey for us. Courtney, thank you. We move on now to Top Stories Global Watch and the disturbing discovery near the U.S.-Mexico border. Authorities were responding to a call about a stranded migrant when they found 8 bodies along a highway in Tijuana that runs right along the border with California. Police now investigating if the killings are a result of cartel violence. An update tonight on the assassination of a presidential candidate in Ecuador we first told you about last night. Authorities say the 6 people arrested for the murder are all Colombian nationals. The 7th suspect was killed in a shootout with police. The candidate who advocated against organized crime was shot and killed while leaving a campaign event in the capital city of Quito just days before the election. And scientists are warning Spain's largest glacier will disappear in less than 10 years due to global warming. The country suffering from extreme heat waves this summer, leading to accelerated ice melt. The glacier has lost roughly 2/3 of its surface area over the last 40 years, and experts say this could be an indication of what will happen to the Alps. Finally tonight, a signal of hope here on Maui and across Hawaii. Residents are turning to their local radio stations for the latest information during this crisis. Veteran DJs working around the clock to help their community in one of its darkest hours.
Love you, baby. KPOA, Lahaina, Maui.
Maui's radio stations usually a place for music, but now they are a lifeline for thousands of Hawaiians desperate for information and assistance after those catastrophic wildfires.
Please, please, people are desperate. Babies need diapers and formula. Their elderly need their medication.
The fire's burning cell towers to the ground and cutting off communication. So DJs on the island are now broadcasting 24/7.
From Oluwalu, again, mahalo, Lori, letting us know that you are there and there are families there waiting for some kind of supply, or any kind of food and supplies, and we are working on that for you.
And notifying residents where to find aid at the top of the hour.
All right, food distribution. Again, we have some going out to Napili Park.
Listeners also calling in to try and find their loved ones.
We hear them crying, their tears, their desperate pleas. It's real. It's very real for me.
The DJs even sharing their own grief.
I got to send aloha to my niece, who lost her husband. He brought a smile to my niece's face, big time, and I can see the hurt in her eyes.
County officials now using the airwaves to give updates on the status of the fire and rescue efforts.
Today's updates. The Lahaina brush fire is 80% contained.
The radio stations are also using their social media pages to share donation drop-off sites, lists of missing persons, and links to donate to relief efforts.
Now we really got to band together.
Local radio providing a signal of hope that the Ohana spirit is still alive.
I go home and my sister looks at me like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "I shouldn't be here. There's more that I can do."
And tonight we salute all those DJs who are working around the clock to provide information to the people who need it most here in Maui. And for you at home, there are ways to help those affected here in Hawaii. Hawaii's governor's office has dedicated donations, directed donations, I should say, to the Hawaii Community Foundation. United Way has created a Maui Disaster Relief Fund, and the Maui Food Bank is providing meals for thousands of displaced residents. The websites for those three right there on your screen. And you can also make a $10 donation to the American Red Cross by texting Hawaii to 909999. We want to thank you so much for watching this special edition of Top Story live from Maui. Stay right there. There's more news on the way.
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Follow today's top stories and breaking news by downloading the NBC News app.